Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Chinenye Nwoye. First, let's bring you the headlines. Pope Francis makes a surprise public appearance this Sunday. First time the leader of the Catholic Church has been seen in public since leaving hospital. Nigeria and Brazil reaffirm strong commitment to deepen strategic partnerships in aerospace and defense sectors. And Turkey's main opposition party, CHP, holds an extraordinary congress to elect a party leader 2 weeks after the eruption of the country's largest protest movement in years. Pope Francis made a surprise public appearance this Sunday, the first time the leader of the Catholic Church has been seen in public since leaving hospital 2 weeks ago. Francis greeted crowds at the Vatican and seemed to be in good spirits. He was seated in a wheelchair and wearing what appeared to be a nasal cannula, aiding his breathing. The 88-year-old pontiff spent 5 weeks in hospital with pneumonia in February and March. According to his medical team, the Pope came close to death during the illness. Pope Francis appeared in better health than when he was last seen in public, which was 2 weeks shortly before he was released from Rome's Gemelli Hospital. At that time, he struggled to speak and raise his arms, but managed to wave to the people and gave a thumbs up from a balcony. The Pope appeared to move his arms around with more ease. His voice was still weak, but stronger than 2 weeks ago. The Pope's appearance had not been previously announced. Crowds of worshippers gathered at Vatican's St. Peter's Square this Sunday when the Pope made his short appearance after a mass dedicated to the sick. When the smiling pontiff was wheeled in, those there cheered wildly. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has reaffirmed NAF's strong commitment to deepening strategic partnerships with friendly nations, as well as key players in the aerospace and defense sectors, as part of efforts to transform the Nigerian Air Force into a more resilient and agile force capable of addressing Nigeria's evolving security challenges. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ehimen Ejadame, indicates that he made this known during a visit to Brazil to participate in the Latin America Aerospace Defense Security Fair held in Rio de Janeiro. Air Marshal Abubakar held high-level meetings and discussions centered on enhancing the operational and technical capacity of the NAF, particularly in sustaining the A-29 Super Tucano aircraft fleet and other platforms in its inventory. The engagement also focused on fostering collaboration in pilot, technical and logistics training, as well as research and development initiatives. The Air Chief's visit to Brazil forms part of a broader effort to deepen global partnerships in line with the NAF's 2025 strategic objectives, which prioritize enhanced operational readiness, force modernization, and international collaboration. Turkey's main opposition party, CHP, held an extraordinary congress to elect a party leader. The session is coming 2 weeks after the eruption of the country's largest protest movement in years, triggered by last month's arrest of Istanbul's popular opposition mayor. Frama Pine reports that Ekrem İmamoğlu, Turkey's main opposition leader, Özgür Özel, has called for elections in November at the latest.
Turkey's main opposition party's extraordinary congress on Sunday is to re-elect its leader, Özgür Özel, and rally support as the party weathers the government's crackdown on the country's largest protest movement in years. Turkey has clamped down on demonstrations triggered by last month's arrest of Istanbul's popular opposition, Ekrem İmamoğlu, also a member of Özel's Republican People's Party, CHP. Nearly 2,000 people have been detained in the unrest following the detention of the man widely considered President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's greatest political challenger, including several hundred students, journalists, and young people. On Thursday, authorities briefly detained 11 people, including a leading actor, with prosecutors accusing the suspects of incitement to hatred and enmity for relaying calls for a boycott. According to Turkish media reports, the authorities are seeking to remove CHP party's leader a year after the opposition's sweeping victory in municipal elections. The party came out on top in the March 2024 municipal elections with nearly 38% of the vote across the country. In addition to maintaining its lead in large cities such as Istanbul and Ankara, the CHP also made inroads into regions previously considered Erdogan's strongholds. In the days following Imamoglu's arrest, the CHP drew tens of thousands of people into the streets of Istanbul and many other cities to denounce a coup d'etat. Frama Hanyi, NTA News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has called for increased private sector participation in the ongoing reforms in the health sector. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that the Vice President stated this during the inauguration of Suleiman Adebola Adegunwa Trauma Center in Shagamu, Ogun State, saying the health facility is a vital addition to the nation's emergency care infrastructure and a symbol of the government's dedication to saving lives. He commended the initiative, urging more philanthropists and corporate organizations to rise beyond personal achievement and invest in nation building.
We must not forget that in a nation facing rising urbanization, motorization and industrial risk, trauma center is no longer optional. It is essential. This is why this center is not just a brick and mortar institution. It is a lifeline. It is a symbol of preparedness in a nation that cares. It is a sanctuary where the wounded can find healing and where families in despair can find hope.
The establishment of this trauma center marked a significant milestone in the quest to strengthen Ogun State's medical infrastructure. It will greatly complement our ongoing efforts to reposition the health sector towards enhancing the wellness and well-being of our citizens, especially in trying times of global economic challenges.
It is my sincere hope that this center will serve as a sanctuary of healing and recovery for individuals facing life-threatening injuries and sudden medical emergencies.
The facility, built by the Suleiman Adebola Adegunwa Foundation and Abuja University Teaching Hospital, aligns with the federal government's health sector renewal investment initiative aimed at overhauling Nigeria's healthcare delivery system. The trauma center was designed to provide emergency medical care, management of trauma-related cases, and significantly enhance the hospital's capacity to deliver quality healthcare services to the people. President Bola Tinubu's vision of transforming Nigeria into a better, vibrant country in no distant future is a reality. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this when he received a delegation from Big Win Philanthropy, led by its Chief Executive Officer, Jamie Cooper, on a courtesy visit to the presidential villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
And honestly, Nigeria is not a nation of scarcity. We are a nation defined by potential.
This project, Vice President Kashim Shettima said, is premised on the robust investments by the Renewed Hope administration in healthcare, education, and other critical sectors of the economy.
We are blessed with abundant natural resources, but our greatest wealth lies in our people.
Welcoming the Big Win Philanthropy's pledge to work with this administration, saying the government is ready to explore the foundation's wealth of experience as it intersects with the Renewed Hope agenda.
We have launched the Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative, which I believe you must have discussed with Professor Party. But the Nutrition 774 initiative is our baby. It's the boldest initiative in the contemporary history of this country. We are going to deploy nutrition officers to all the 774 local councils across the length and breadth of this country. Our goal is simple: to ensure that no community is left behind.
And it's saddening. I want us to drive that process. I don't want to use the word I. We are going to drive that process. And we have the technical competence. And most importantly, the commitment of people on ground. And we are bringing services closer to the people at the grassroots.
The CEO, Big Win Philanthropy, acknowledged the role of the Vice President in nutrition, emphasizing the need for collaboration.
We're in Nigeria because these ministers represent that creme de la creme of people and individuals that are really, really driven to bring better outcomes to their people and have very, very clear agendas and visions for where they intend this country to go.
The organization is working with relevant stakeholders to create over 2 million jobs in Nigeria and also working on malnutrition, local production of vaccines and drugs. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
The federal government is committed to ensuring that all infrastructure facilities that are currently under rehabilitation or construction meet required standards. Minister of Works David Umahi gave this assurance as he monitored below-deck repairs of Lagos bridges. Lanre Belay has more.
Below the deck of Eko, Third Mainland, Carter, and the reopened Independence bridges, 454 pie cabs and 854 piers have been penciled down for repairs by the Ministry of Works. Out of the 454 pie cabs, 147 and 556 piers have been completed. During the inspection, the Minister of Works expressed disappointment with the incident that involved a dredging ship that wrecked a pie cab, a development he described as unacceptable, especially when the federal government had directed the stoppage of dredging in the sea in areas very close to the bridge all over the Federation.
What the pie cap and the pies are to the bridges are what the legs are. And I went, to the smaller boat to monitor the level of damages below the water occasioned by this dredger that hit this. And I was, very shocked. A whole one pie was totally removed. And what is holding that particular section is only the rods.
David Umahi used the opportunity to call on relevant authorities at both state and federal levels to halt movement of boats and ships around the axis until comprehensive work under the deck is completed. In Lagos, Lanre Belay, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has felicitated with Dame Emmanuela Abimbola Fashola, the former First Lady of Lagos State, on her 60th birthday. Dame Fashola, wife of Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, former Governor of Lagos State and former Minister of Works and Housing, renowned for her dedication and contributions as an experienced administrator in education management and as a passionate advocate for health and socio-economic issues. In a statement by Special Advisor to President Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga acknowledges her impact on public awareness and sensitization campaigns on children and women's health. He described Dame Fashola as a steadfast pillar of support for her husband, offering tremendous help during his tenure as Lagos Governor and Minister of Works and Housing. The President expresses his appreciation for Dame Fashola's enduring contributions to the people of Lagos, specifically her leadership of the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials. President Tinubu wishes Dame Fashola continued health, happiness, and well-being. And similarly, the wife of the President, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON, has extended her warm felicitation to the former First Lady of Lagos State, Dame Emmanuela Abimbola Fashola, who turned 60. The First Lady joins the Fashola family, friends and loved ones and associates to rejoice with Mrs. Fashola on this joyous occasion of her Diamond Jubilee. In a congratulatory message, the First Lady extolled the qualities of the celebrant's impact in creating awareness, empowerment and sensitization for women and children, which are commendable, especially through her charity, leadership empowerment and resource network, saying her contributions to the people of Lagos, especially during her leadership of the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials, as well as the inauguration of recreational centers and support for the screening and treatment of women with breast and cervical cancers are worthy of note. She prayed for many more years in divine health, joy, peace, and prosperity. And this is the news on NTA International. We'll take a break here. We'll be back shortly.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their social economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, 1 person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, 1 person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary healthcare center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Many thanks for staying on. Aside fighting to strengthen the territorial integrity of Nigeria, the home front of army personnel should also be strengthened for balance and enhanced productivity. This formed the major cross of discourse at a workshop organized by the Women Command of the Nigerian Army. Innocent Abo reports that the workshop had officers and soldiers as well as their spouses as participants.
In consideration of the importance of family stability in achieving quality service delivery, especially in their mandate of securing the country against internal and external aggressions, and as well raising children that will make positive contributions to the societal development, informed the workshop, which focused on exposing some family challenges and the needed knowledge to overcome them.
I would like to take this opportunity to recognize and appreciate our spouses and wards for their steadfastness in managing the home front while we pursue our careers.
A peaceful and happy home front does not happen by accident. It requires a lot of input from both spouses, the male and the female.
Lectures were delivered on different family-related topics, among which is possible approach towards preventing and resolving marital crises among Nigerian Army personnel.
Preventing marital crisis in military homes starts with acknowledging that the stresses of military services extend beyond the individual soldier.
Some participants speak
on the gains.
Before you go, you proceed into a military marriage. There are some procedures which today I've come to understand.
The workshop had as a theme securing the home front to strengthen the front line. In Abakaliki, Innocent Agbon, NTA News.
Accelerating actions towards healthcare, the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, DEPOA, says begins with personal health routine. This is the reason the association is amplifying the voices of women and on early diagnosis and prevention of disease within the military. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this was the message at a health walk put together by DEPOA in Abuja.
Physical exercise, regular checks and proper diet, medical experts say, are healthy tips to warding off diseases. Promoting a productive and a healthy lifestyle within the military community, the DEPOA president stressed, is critical to sustaining a formidable home front to boost the morale of officers and soldiers in different internal security operations.
We are going to be sending our exercise videos to know whether you are keeping up with what you are doing. And then portion control of our food, very important. Overall living, 80% is the food we take in, 20% is just the exercise, just to tone our body.
All over Nigeria, people will see that women are waking up and still going out and exercising and using it as an example in their homes. You don't have to join a gym. You can walk around your compound, you can walk around your neighborhood.
Why go under the knife and risk your life when you can walk out and live well? So because I'm a testimony, I have no scars, no marks, with 4 kids, so it means we can do it. As women, when you're healthy, your child is healthy.
It means the more you exercise, you need to balance it with what you put into your stomach. You need to be careful with what you eat. So if you say anyway, no matter what I eat, I go to gym, I do my exercises, and I think I can eat whatever I want. It is not good for you.
Medical experts at the health walk enjoin women to prioritize their health through regular medical checks and tests. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Shehu Mohammed, has expressed regrets over the tragic death of 17 road traffic crash victims, including one of the emergency rescue operatives of the Corps, who was deployed to carry out rescue operation at the scene of the crash in Bara area of Ogun State. While expressing heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims, the Corps Marshal urged motorists to make vehicle maintenance a priority and adhere to speed limits so as to prevent reoccurrence of such tragedies in the future. The fatal multiple crash was said to have occurred as a result of excessive speed and brake failure. The Corps Marshal, however, vowed that the driver responsible for the carnage will definitely be prosecuted as part of ongoing efforts of the Corps to ensure that all drivers involved in fatal crash face the wrath of the law. President Bola Tinubu has conveyed his deepest condolences to the government and people of Oyo State following the passing of Dr. Victor Omololu Olunloyo, former governor of the old Oyo State. President Tinubu, on behalf of the federal government, extends sympathies to the Olunloyo family and all who knew and respected the late elder statesman and scholar. Dr. Olunloyo, renowned for his mathematical prowess, obtained a PhD in applied mathematics and number theory from St. Andrews University in Scotland at 25. 2 years later, he became a commissioner in the Old Western region. His leadership as the founding rector of the Polytechnic Ibadan and Kwara State Polytechnic, he established an enduring academic and administrative foundation in the two institutions. In a statement by presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga, the president pays tribute to Dr. Olunloyo's remarkable academic and professional journey and his fervent belief in education as a transformative tool for national development. Reflecting on Dr. Olunloyo's tenure as governor of the old Oyo State, President Tinubu notes that although his time in office was brief, His tenure was marked by exceptional visionary leadership. The abrupt end to his administration due to military intervention did not deter him from continuing to serve the nation. President Tinubu further applauds the late governor for his unwavering commitment to Nigeria's unity and progress and intellectual advancement, emphasizing that his contributions will remain enduring milestones in the nation's history. He prayed the Almighty God to grant him eternal rest and bring solace to all who mourn him. And next is weather prospect for Monday in Nigeria and some cities of the world. And that's the news on NTA International. We thank you so much for being a part of it. I am Chinenye Mwe.